Welcome to another Garage Chat video. I'm recording this at the end of November 2020, just as Ireland is coming out of a second lockdown. And this time I've been quite busy, working on the camper van mainly, and also reorganising the garage a bit so that I can get on with the Charade project. During the first lockdown I did have to take a bit of a break from working on new projects, and I took the opportunity to get together this one that I hadn't managed to finish that I'd started way back in 2013. And it was a trip that I took with my Cinquecento to France to compete in the San Gueno hill climb. This was spread out across loads of old hard drives, computers, memory cards and even mobile phones. So it was a really great opportunity to get this project together because it had some very special footage of a good friend of mine that's no longer with us. I called the video Au revoir Panini because that was the nickname we had for my little Cinquecento that I used to race. Another uncompleted video project that I finished during that period was Titanic Deja Vu from 2018. This is a tribute event organised by the TV producer Alan Tyndall from RPM Motorsport and Dr. Beatty Crawford. And they had a brilliant driver and car lineup, including Volterol. So that was really a special event which we travelled to with Evie, our 30 kilowatt Nissan Leaf. So we did the full diagonal of the island of Ireland up to Belfast, which proved a big point for that 30 kilowatt car. And we had a great time chasing some of the fastest drivers and cars in the world on some of the most challenging tarmac roads in this part of Europe anyway. The car proved itself to be well up to the task. Funnily enough, our last video was filmed around Independence Day for America, and this one is just a couple of days after Thanksgiving. So it is a good time to be having a little bit of a look back. Just after that last video was filmed, we were at the point where Eric was coming back onto the road, the little rally car to be Kadett, and I got it up to road spec to kind of assemble everything that I had for the car and to shake it down, because it's a really good chance to free up the brakes, etc. And a couple of nice little events happened during the easing of restrictions over the summer. One of them was a local one just to mark the date the Iries Family Festival would have taken place. They called on local classic car owners and tractor drivers to assemble and do a little bit of a run while being able to maintain social distance in our vehicles. And this took us out over the incredible Ard Groom stage, which is often a part of the Killarney Historic Rally, which is the event that we're hoping to do with Eric when it's completed. That event for 2020 should have actually been this weekend, but unfortunately in the current circumstances that was not to be. It's an ambition for me and one of my sponsors, eFox Engineers, to get the car ready for that event in particular next year. Another event that we were able to take part in during the year, because I'd helped out with the running of previous events, Ted's Opel Vauxhall Run, the committee got together just with a few cars to mark the date that they would have been running this year, and we did a really exciting route that took in another bunch of stages that would have been on the Killarney Rally. So Eric got to see a lot of the roads, even though he's not prepared for rallying yet. These opportunities gave me great experience of the left-hand drive car on tight roads, and I've actually probably gotten so familiar now with left-hand drive that I have to concentrate extra hard when I get into the right-hand drive cars that we have. So while I was out and about with Eric quite often at weekends, the main work I was doing in the garage was on Rocky here. I brought this project forward because the van could no longer stay outdoors without some work being done to rust, which was growing beneath the battery tray, and if it had spread into the bulkhead it was really going to become almost an unviable project. I'm quite happy with the kind of work I've been able to get done on the camper, and particularly in this front driver's corner. I feel that I've made it safe now, that it's not going to deteriorate rapidly now and become unviable. So I feel like I've saved the van. I had not intended on working on it this far into the winter. It's essentially a summer project. I didn't actually think that this garage extension was going to last into the winter. It's already survived about 3 storms. Now, there could be an awful lot worse ahead. It's been quite mild lately, but there's no point in me taking it down unless the wind blows it down. So I'm going to leave the camper in here. It's safe and sound. This whole thing I can just it can be repaired in the springtime. It's not ideal for filming when the weather's bad. You get a lot of wind noise and a lot of rain noise. So it is still more a spring summer project. So I'm going to leave this here. It's safe and sound, and I'm going to crack on with the Charade project, Chewy, which is still in the garage. One of the stumbling blocks I've had with that was it was actually up to about now that this time last year that I did work on that car before. I couldn't strip the doors off the car and have somewhere to store the car safely while painting the doors, until I did a lot of organising in the garage of old stuff that was both from the previous owners of this house and garage, and things that we just moved in when we got the garage. So I've had to organise a lot of stuff away, and I've gained back loads more floor space. So now I'm in a position where I've divided off with plastic 2 different sections in the garage, and I'll be able to push the car up into one area and have plenty of space to do my spraying in the other. And there's also enough space to do the last bit of spraying that's needed on the body shell. So that's kind of unlocked that, and I can now push on to finish that car, because there's great work done on that already, and it'll be really great to finish it. And finishing it then will lead me to being able to work on the rally car project, which is really, you know, it's something I really want to get done. It's not helped by the fact that I've been doing loads of motorsport related work over the last while. Between the 2 lockdowns, the Boss Racing Championship ran a condensed calendar, and I was filming that this year and doing reports from each event. And that was really a great privilege to be able to go out and see some live motorsport and to share the videos. During that lockdown period, I wasn't able to go out and shoot anything new, so I was actually really working on advancing the archiving of my own rally videos on my motorsport channels, and that led on then to doing the same kind of work for Motorsport Ireland and the RIAC. They had recently acquired the RPM Motorsport back catalogue from the last 30 years and more, in fact. So since the end of the last lockdown, I've been helping them by processing their videos, and they're uploading a new one every Thursday night, just like the old RPM programs used to be. And you can see them on the MI Facebook page or the MI RIAC YouTube page. Although there hasn't been a lot of progress on Eric, I have been getting lots of time just running around doing errands in the car locally. But one big exciting step towards getting back out in motorsport again. A couple of months ago, it was actually my 40th birthday. A whole bunch of my family got together and they bought me an up-to-date helmet and head and neck support device. So that's one less excuse for getting going. So thanks to Sarah, Anne, Karen, Peter and Ava. You guys will be keeping me safe. Another thing then is I got involved with helping Motorsport Ireland to do a demonstration video for the license application process, and we actually used my applying as a demonstration video. So that's the license sorted now as well. So the excuses are getting less and less, and action needs to really happen on the car soon. I'm going to build that car up to sprint spec, because I think those are the first type of events that are likely to come back, and this shouldn't take too long. It'll be handy as well, because with the Charade having recently been painted, I'm going to leave that set up in the garage, because quite early on in the rally preparation project, after the roll cage plates are welded in and brackets for the seats, I'm going to spray that car too, so it'll be quite efficient to go from one to the other. Hopefully that phase of work on Eric won't take particularly long, and I can get back to working on this camper and finishing it off, because this is actually going to be the base for my accommodation when I do events with the rally car. So it's all part of the same thing. I want this to be my spring project. It's also very relevant to my sponsor mixgarage.com, as they are really expanding the amount of leisure products that they're selling, as so many people are holidaying at home here in Ireland these days. A small side project relevant to that is that I've been developing a bunk in the back of the Nissan Leaf. Now I have it kind of trial assembled, and I've used it for a couple of events, especially when I was filming those boss races, but also a couple of trips where my wife and I went away surfing. I'm going to shoot a video assembling that from start to finish to show people exactly what I've done there, because I think the whole idea of being able to travel in an electric car and camp overnight, these two things seem to go hand in hand. There's a lot of people with ambitions to do that with electric vehicles. And talking about electric vehicles, a couple of people close to me have been probably influenced by me. I managed to talk my dad into getting a Kangoo, second-hand Kangoo van, 22 kilowatt one, and he's been doing really well with that, to my relief. And he uses it to maintain a small holding of land that he has locally, and also he does a regular trip to a market on once a week, which is 100 km round trip, and he can do that on a single charge from home. Although he often does do a charge down there, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. But it's amazing actually how much he gets out of a car that, even in comparison to our car, should have a relatively little range. We celebrated a very different type of transport on my birthday. When my dad was a kid, the railway went right past the farmhouse that he grew up in, and he told me lots and lots of stories about the trains back in those days, and I researched exactly what type they would be, and I actually managed to find a model from the UK which was the type of engine that they did bring over. So he actually got me one of those for my 40th birthday, which is a really nice way to mark the occasion. Another early adapter I'm after influencing is my great friend Ivalo. His 400,000 km plus Audi, which has been so helpful to getting some of my cars from Germany over to here, has made way for a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, and it's been really exciting seeing how he's been getting on with that. Now we just need to find an excuse to drive it halfway across Europe to test it out. Anyway, please like, share, follow and subscribe, and thanks for watching.